All right, so for part one, I think we left off, you're trying number four. You should check your number four with other people around you, and then you should jot down for number five some patterns that you notice. Looking at number five, Optima likes to have her little dog Clementine around the shop, but one day Clementine got hungry and chewed up the orders. So while there were only partial expressions, you needed to kind of finish the area. So thinking about these ones, in this case, if I had an x squared and I had four x's, that would mean I'd have two per side, right, to kind of create my square quilt pattern. Oh gosh. So there's my two per side, right, with a total of four of them. And then this missing number would be my four, right? So in this case, remember that we're going to use what we wrote down in our jump start. Maybe I'll just write it down over here. That if I had an x plus p squared, and I knew it was a square, that this would be like x plus p times x plus p, which would give me my x squared plus a px plus another px plus a p times p, or a p squared. So we get x squared plus 2px plus p squared. In this case, if this is our ax squared plus a bx plus a c, if we wanted to figure out our c value and we knew our b value in terms of p, b is equal to 2p. So if I cut my b in half, I could get p, right, by cutting these both in half. That gives me p is equal to b cut in half. And then if I know p squared gives me my c, once I've got p, I can just square it. So in this case, I did 4 cut in half, which is 2, and then 2 squared takes me back to 4, right, because this is my b cut in half, and this is my p squared is equal to my c. So in the case of these other ones, you should try it. Right, for this one we would do, we'll pause it, try it, and then hit play to check your answers. So for B we would do 6 cut in half, that's 3. That would be my P, but then 3 squared would have taken me to 9. In this case I've got 8 cut in half, that's 4, but then I would have to do 4 squared, right? So my P is again half of my B, and then my p squared gets me my c. So this would be my p, and then p squared is my c value. So this is where I get my 16. Last one here at 12 would be our 12 cut in half. That's 6. That means my p is 6, and if I do 6 squared, I get 36. So 36 is my missing number there. So that's how I can complete those perfect squares using that trinomial. Hopefully we feel good about 6. For 7, notice if ax squared plus bx plus c is a perfect square, what's the relationship between b and c? B cut in half would be equal to my square root of c, right? Because b cut in half is p, and our p is equal to our c squared. So we could take the square root of those values and we should get the same thing. Right, if we took the square root of c, we should get our p value. Oh, sorry. I was like, what is this equation doing? I wasn't making sense in my brain. That's because p squared, sorry, is equal to my c. So if I square root those, p is equal to the square root of c. Right, and this came from our 2b being equal to our p. Right, so if we cut this in half, we get our p value. This strategy would work if b is negative, because we can have a negative number cut in half, and if we square a negative, we just end up with a positive, right? So it does work if b is negative, it does work if b is odd. It just means that we have some decimals. And we know we can take decimals, right? For example, if I had 0.5 squared, this would be 0.25, and the square root of 0.25 would just go back to our 0.5. And I could get that by just doing 1 cut in half, right? So like if I had a side length, for example, of 1, and I had to cut it in, or if I had 1x, and I had to cut it in half, right, I could get a negative number, an odd number, even a decimal number. One of the new customer representatives thinks they don't need to do the drawings anymore, so she writes this equation as the expansion of this problem. Explain to her if her thinking is right, or does she need to revise her strategy? So check out number 8, try to answer it on your own, share your answer with the people around you, and then you could jump into your homework for this lesson. Have a lovely day.